Hi, it's Janice Tuck here and welcome once again to Music Teachers Q&A. Now this is the place for music teachers who want to get the best out of their music teaching and make their career more fulfilling and of course, fun. Now thanks so much to everyone who's been participating in our discussions after these videos. We've had so many great comments and suggestions from our previous topics, so please do keep them coming. Today's question comes from Ralph in the USA and he says, I direct an adult choir at our church. Now, there definitely is talent there. I try to do some warm-ups such as breathing, tongue twisters, range extenders, and etc. at each practice, but there's nothing terribly long. The problem is some take it seriously, but most don't. It's terribly chatty, people shuffling in late, and this is an older group. The youngest in their 40s, one member is 88. These warm-ups help them to be more focused and they tend to sing better. I just don't think that what I'm doing is nearly as helpful as it could be. Introducing new concepts or ideas can be difficult, even if you explain why you are doing it. Any and all help is greatly appreciated. Well, okay, Ralph. Now, I'm not anywhere near the choral director that you might be, so I'm sure some of the more experienced people watching this might have more for you than I do, but I am able to share a few general ideas with you, and then hopefully we'll get a lot of value for you also in the comments section below this video. Now, firstly, I don't want you to feel that you're alone in this, because I'm sure that what you described, I know is a similar situation in many different choirs and ensembles I've taught in, and I know it is for other people too. I don't think it matters if they are old or young, because you can get the same casual chatty attitude happening sometimes anywhere. Of course, when you've got young children at school, you can use more disciplinary type approaches to maintain control. But in your situation, you do need to keep it casual and fun, and I know the adults just won't participate if they don't enjoy it. So today I have got 3 ideas for you. Now the first one is to begin with why we are here. Now often we start a rehearsal by saying, well okay, let's start with a warm-up. The problem with that is that it doesn't compel anyone to do anything, and it's not going to inspire or motivate your choir to pay attention sometimes. However, perhaps if you just change the wording a little bit, and maybe if you said at the start of the rehearsal, now today we're going to make some amazing music, we're going to prepare for an awesome performance on the weekend, and to do that we need to work on the range, your breathing, and that's in order so that we can get this amazing effect that we're looking for. It's just an alternative way to start a rehearsal or a lesson or even a meeting. It's just a way to inspire your students, whatever age they are in front of you, and get them to think about maybe what their outcomes are. So it's about them and not so much about you. Anyway, my next idea for you, Ralph, is to go ahead and break your routine a little bit. Now, often you might be able to get around the situation you just described simply by doing things a little bit differently at different times. And when we're really close to it, it's really hard to remember it, because I know I have been there myself. Now, with this next little bit, I know that some of the choir directors out there might want to shoot me for saying this, because I'm probably telling you the wrong advice technically on a vocal standpoint, but why should warm-ups always have to happen at the start of a rehearsal? Now, surely you might be able to start with a song, maybe something easy, of course. You're not going to start with anything Bach or anything like that. But if you started with a nice, easy song in a small range where you can get them warmed up without even knowing it, you could then break up between songs later in the rehearsal, maybe with a little technique or a warm-up exercise, just to develop a particular skill. Now, another way I know to break up the routine is actually to involve some of the more senior members of the choir and have them warm up in the choir with their own warm-up ideas. So go ahead, try this and put a timer on or something and give them a maximum of about 2 minutes to show an exercise to the choir and go ahead and do it with them. Now you could even have a competition where they all had a little turn each week at a time, and at the end of the year you voted on who did the best one to win the prize. Anything like that would just break the monotony up a bit of why you're doing it all at the same time. Now I'm sure there are loads of other ideas for breaking up the monotony of warm-ups, and I do encourage any experienced choir directors who are out there watching this to contribute their own ideas in the comment box below, so that Ralph and I know anyone else in the situation can benefit and improve on their rehearsals. We can never get enough ideas, can we? Now, the last little tip I have for you is one on mentorship. Now, I don't think you're ever too old or too young to learn something new. And I think that if you're going to direct choirs, then one of the best things that anyone can do is to go and sit in the choir of as many different great directors as you can, so that you can see how they do it. Now, I certainly did this with band, and I credit all my success to teaching band to conductors that I work with under a band situation. And if I was still conducting band today, then the first thing I'd do is to look for opportunities to play in, watch bands, and be with great conductors. Now, you can also find opportunities online and at live conferences to hear great conductors speak and watch them work. You don't need to just watch what they do, but you just need to listen to their language, watch their body language. In my mind, these are the most important things that you could do to make yourself a great conductor. Now, I know I learned an amazing amount from the conductors I spoke with at last year's virtual music conference, including director of the Boston Children's Chorus, Anthony Tresick King. One thing that he said to me, and that's really stuck in my mind, is that rehearsals are always a collaborative process, meaning that he really enrolls his choristers in the goal of music, and he always engages the singers in the process of making the music. So take any opportunity you can to get in front of and watch amazing conductors. I know that you're going to learn a lot from such an opportunity, and I'm sure that you can go and find a good amateur or even semi-professional chorus in your city, because I know that they're all around the world and there are some terrific conductors out there. So Ralph, I really hope these couple of ideas have helped you. Like I said before, I've got very limited experience with choirs, and I've probably only conducted choir a handful of times in my whole career. So I'm sure that a lot of others can give you more great ideas than I can just then. And I do hope that everyone who is watching to participate in the discussion, please do go ahead, fill in the comment box below if you're on my blog. And if you're not on my blog, then you can check out this page. Now, I have a great deal more Q&A sessions for you coming up every 2 weeks, and you can always catch up with the latest from our blog of regular newsletters. So I look forward to answering more questions and hearing all of your comments soon.